Okay, well while I wait for people to join this game, let's once again attempt to play Mahjong. Now, I lost the first 13 minutes of my last video, which was largely my explanation of how the game played, and nothing too much happened in it. But in any case, I will now endeavour to explain how Mahjong works. Basically, you are given 13 tiles initially, which is your initial draw. The dealer, whoever's sitting east, gets 14. And starting with that east player, you discard one tile and draw another one in your turn. And then it's just a case of drawing, discarding, and trying to get to having 4 sets, which is any sequence of 3 numbers, or any 3 of a kind, as well as 1 pair. Once a player achieves this, he has a Mahjong hand, and he wins. Now, here's the complicated bit, and players are getting involved before. I normally have more time than this, but anyway, there are various points attached to, various points and values attached to certain types of hand, and in order to have a legal hand, you need 1 yaku. A yaku is you can get 1 yaku in a number of ways. The easiest ways are to start off with a set of bonus tiles. Now, the bonus tiles are different depending on where you're sitting, but basically the round wind, which is that, you can't see the mouse, but you'll be able to see that, which is east, which will only be east in this game because, goodbye. Which will only be east in this game because this is only a one round game. So the east tiles are worth 1 yaku. The seat you are sitting in, if it is east, it's basically the east counts double for that. But there's south, west, and north tiles as well. And if you're sitting north, south, or west, those are bonus tiles for you. In addition, there are 3 dragons, and they count as bonus tiles for everybody. Second easiest way to get a yaku is to get to a state where you need 1 tile to finish with the 13 in your hand, getting 1 tile away from having the 4 sets of 3 and a pair, and then declare reached. There's a number of disadvantages to this. Firstly, you put 1,000 points on the table. Secondly, you are not allowed to change your hand anymore. And thirdly, you can only do it if you have a fully concealed hand, i.e. you have not called on any discards of any other player. You are allowed to take discards from other players. To complete a triplet of 3, you can take from anybody, but to take a sequence, it can only be done by the person to your left. I would say to my fair lady, and people join and leave. People need patience. Anyway, there are a number of other ways it can be done though. There is all simples, which is basically no 1s, 9s, or honor tiles. However, this has to be a concealed hand. Pinfu, which is 4 sequences and a pair. However, that has a couple of conditions attached. Firstly, it's got to be all concealed, similar to the all simples hand. You must also be waiting on a 2-sided wait for one of your sequences. So, for example, if I had 3 sequences, a pair, and a 5 and a 6, that would be fine. But it'd have to be a sequence with 2 ends to it. It can't be. Pinfu is not 9/8. In addition, another condition attached to Pinfu, it can't be a bonus pair. In other words, it can't be any of a pair of dragons, a pair of the round wind, or a pair of your seat wind. Then there is Ipeiko, which is the last of the 1 yaku hands that requires you to have a fully concealed hand. Basically means you need the same sequence twice in the same suit. There's a few other ones which are quite easy to get. There's Itsu, which is straight through, which is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in 3 separate sequences, all in the same suit. But that can be open, and it is worth more if it's all concealed, but it can be open. Other common ones that are easy to go for, there's the half flush or Honitsu, suit and honours, and at some stage this game will get started. Oh well, gives me more time to explain, but it's basically 1 suit so all dots, all characters, or all bamboos and honor tiles attached. And that's worth 2 Yaku. There's the 7 pairs hand. It's an exception to the rule of needing 4 sets of 3 in a pair. You can have 7 pairs. It's worth 2 Yaku and has and it's scored very exactly. There can be other Yaku attached to it, normally reach, possibly fully concealed. In fact, almost definitely fully concealed. There is fully concealed for reference. You get another Yaku if you draw the 14th tile in a fully concealed hand. If somebody else discards it, that's fine. It still counts as a concealed hand for getting, say, Pinfu. But if you actually draw it yourself, then you get, I think it's Menzen Sumo is the Japanese terminology for it, which gives you another Yaku. So you can actually, even without any of the other Yaku, just get a completed hand and declare Mahjong. Other ones that should be aware of, there's Chanter, which is only worth 1, but it's less common, but requires you to have a 1, a 9, or an honor tile in every sequence or set and your pair. So, for example, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, and a pair of dragons, maybe. If you do this sequence without any honor tiles, but still counts for Chanter, then it's an upgraded version of that hand, which is Junchan, which if it's worth 2, but if it's concealed, it's worth 3. What else? The other really common one is similar to the Honitsu. It's the full flush, or Chinitsu, which is basically all of one sequence, no honor tiles. So all of one sequence? All of one set of tiles, no honors. Beyond that, it's worth knowing about some of the more obscure ones, but these rarely come up from now on. There is, what are we? There's a Rinshan, which is when you declare a win on the tile you draw from a dead wall. Now, you only draw from a dead wall when you call a set of 4 tiles. You are allowed to call a Kong or a set of 4 from somebody else in a similar way you would to a triples hand. Or you can have all 4 in your hand and declare a Kong that way. It also, interestingly, if you declare a set of 4 from your hand, a Kong from your hand, then your hand still counts as concealed. You can still declare a reach. And in fact, if you have declared a reach and draw a 4th tile like that, you can also declare a Kong, as long as it doesn't change the tiles you're waiting on. Other obscure ones, there's, I think we're basically now looking at the Yakuman. I mean, there's Ryan Peiko occasionally, which is a special type of 7 pairs hand, where you essentially have 2 paired sequences and a pair. That's got to be fully concealed hand, and it's I think it's worth 3, possibly 4, can't remember. And obviously, because it's that sort of hand, it's almost always attached to Pinfu and various other things. But yes, going on to Yakuman. Most common Yakuman to be aware of, 13 Orphans is a common one that's tried but rarely succeeds, is where you have one of every one of the terminals, the 1s and the 9s, 1 copy of each in your hand, and then one of those 13 is paired. If you have that, that's a Yakuman, and it's the highest value hand you can get. Other ones are the 4 concealed pungs. There is a hand for 3 concealed pungs or triplets, but there's a Yakuman hand if you can get 4 concealed triplets. However, there's conditions attached to that, I think. If it's I'm not sure. I think it's worth 2 Yakuman if you're waiting on the pair wait. So if you have 4 sets in your hand and you're just waiting on the pair, I think it's worth 2. But I don't know that because it's a rare occurrence. Daisangen, which is having all 3 of the dragon pungs. That can be an open hand as well. There's all honors, which is occasional. Basically, all of your pungs in your pair are honor tiles. All terminals, so all of your pungs and whatever are 1s and 9s. And then there's the 4 little wins and 4 big wins, which for that you need 3 triplets of win tiles and a pair of wins, or having four sets of having all four triplets of the four wins is worth a double Yakima, I believe. Anyway, this is taking a while, and as of yet, well, I thought this game was going to start a lot sooner, but oh well. Give me 2 moments while we get a game started. Nope, don't do that. That one. No, give me 2 moments. We need a 9 to get 9 or a 4 will get us into. That helps. Alright, risking. That was a mistake. Oh, it was not a mistake. But now means we're waiting on a 6 character for a legal hand. Didn't come off. Tossed a 5 dot. And I am in. I'm in 10 by the end now. They've set this game up so we don't see what each other has at the end. It was a bit of a gamble to go with that, to be honest. I probably shouldn't have done. Ooh, that's quite nice. 2 concealed triplets off the bat. Means we should be able to get this quite fast. And if we can draw another 2, then we've got the option of Sanenko. Very few honor tasks to get rid of. We'll have to see what we can do here. Because this has legs, this hand. Toss for north. Ooh. And I thought I had legs. Right. Now I'm going to discard the 9 on the basis that... No, we're not calling that. Now, this is 147 discarding here, for 9 should be safe. He's not allowed to win on any tile he's discarded, or if it's a sequence weight, say, i.e. 3-4, if he was waiting on the 2 and the 5, if I've discarded one of the 2 or the 5, I can't win on the other one in that sequence, and I'm going to discard the 1 dot here. That, a bit worrying there, but now I have what might just... I mean, the 3 characters safe, which is why I went this way. Because looking at this now, I have 2 sequences. I might get another one. No. I'll get rid of the safe tile for now. The thing is, I don't know how valuable his hand is. If I draw a 5, I might... if I draw a 5 now, I can probably go for it. White Dragon's safe. We'll discard that. Drawing a 2 or a 4 vastly improves the value of this hand. Alright, we're going to gamble on that. Problem is, with the 3's a Suji again, so for similar reasons it's reasonably safe. But the problem is, with an early reach, you have no clue what he's waiting on, because these are just coincidental tiles he's drawn. And as it was, he was waiting on the 4. It wasn't a very valuable hand, I'd imagine. In fact, it only had 1 Yahoo in it. What was that? Reach only was in fact the value of that hand, so cheap hand which just rotates the board around. Ugh. Is what I shall say about this hand. Ugh. The only advantage is I do have a pair of souths, but ugh. 1, 2... No. We have more sense than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can't even go for the 13 orphans, really. For 13 orphans to work, you generally have to have in excess of 9 or maybe even 10 in a starting hand. That said, I might be able to pull suit and honours if I'm lucky with my draws, but I'm not expecting to win this. But we'll aim suit and honours now. And in fact, we're getting this off third dot draw, so might get something here. Problem is, I'm kind of hoping, similar to the green dragon I currently have in my hand, that either I'll draw a second or it'll be proved safe. And that's my... See, this is going quite nicely. I've been quite fortunate with my draws here. So we still only have one sequence. But now we can probably call a south. I wasn't going to before this started developing. As you can see, we're fairly certain the green dragon's okay. One of them was discarded already, so it's just whether somebody's drawn a pair in the meantime. So north is our next probable discard. Definitely now. The red dragon, there we've seen two of them. The only issue with my discards is that it's fairly obvious I've got some form of Honitsu or Chinitsu or developing. Especially as I've discarded the honours second. Mind you, I'm only discarding safe honours. Two red dragons already played, that should be fine. Now I'm in a point where I'm considering calls. If people play South Dragons, and South's Dragon is only a bonus tile to me at the moment, we're going to call it. As in fact, we're going to call any... Right. That might backfire later, but we'll see. We have two sequences, two pairs. This could be South Honitsu, looking at this one. So 3 points, or 3 Yaku. That helps, because that unlocks something for us. It means we're now Tenpai, Honitsu, Red 5, South. Or, well, assuming South comes up, the last West could come up. If we draw a 9 in the meantime, we can change this into an open Itsu. He's only discarded honor tiles, but the character was late. I'm guessing... It's probably around the... Oh, God. Right, 2 reaches, and I've got an open hand. Not a good situation for me to be in. This is not a safe thing, and this is stupid playing from me now. That's okay. I pretty much have to draw it. 6 dots is probably... This is a mistake. So a mistake. So we now have Itsu, Honitsu, South if it comes up. We've massively reduced the value of our hand now. We have Wests we can possibly play for defense. Oh, I've been stupid here. This never goes well. Thankfully, 2 green dragons already shown. That should be alright. If South doesn't get played, then I've made such a hash of this. Such a hash. I do not like. Dan's valuable enough, but this is why I'm saying defensive play. This is about as poor defensive play as I could do. Oh no, this is so bad, but I got away with that. I have to bail if I draw a 2 character. Have to bail. I should have done it ages ago, to be honest. That'll be it. Yep. Well, next deal then. And that puts you massively in front and me into second place. Let's not do that again if we can avoid it. Mind you, that isn't exactly brilliant. I'll toss that first. It's highly likely to be called now, but oh no. Somebody doesn't have a Yaku available, which is always a good reason for doing that as a first discard. It is a Dora tile, and I don't have to worry about it now, so... Well, the problem from my point of view is I don't have easy Yaku. Right, one is down. We'll toss it, because we know it's relatively safe, and it's a bonus tile for everybody, so... True, it's worth double to me, but... Won't call that. Toss for 9. If we can, we'll keep discarding characters for a bit. In fact, do we want to? No, we'll do 1 dot next. Or the white dragon if it becomes safe. So we have a concealed set of 6 dots at the moment. And there's the dragon goal. I sometimes wonder whether it is always worth doing that. Because sometimes it's nice to have the dragon pair. The only problem is, because we're playing online, if you don't call it, because there's a timer that appears, that means somebody could, in theory, call on it, like that. Somebody knows somebody's got a pair of dragons, so therefore they didn't call it the first time, well, they call it the second time. And it leads to the same result normally. If people remember. Right, toss to 1 character. Because now I've got a potential 3 colour straight on, which is the same sequence in each suit. In this case, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. Although, I did dump a 5 earlier, and oh, that's me. Should pay attention. It's only a potential 3 colour straight, but I doubt I'm going to be able to make use of it. Unless I draw another 5 myself, I'm probably not going to bother. In the meantime, just being able to wait on Pinfu, although Pinfu I now need a 5 here. Oh god. It's always depressing when I notice I've done that. At least it wasn't a dragon set this time. Problem is I'm dealer. I prefer to at least get into a ready state if I could this hand. 9 dots. Nope. No. And besides, he's already called the set of them. Thankfully, with all the 2s gone, that means the 1s are now completely safe. Well, actually it might not be, but the theory kind of holds. We'll toss to 3 here. Because we can now draw the 3 or the 5 and get into that kind of weight. And if we eventually do draw something useful along here. Yay, triplet hand! Slightly dodgy that, but okay. It wasn't triplets, it was just white dragon by the look of that. Though, what did you get? Ah, 2 Dora, which I didn't notice. So, dragon 2 Dora. I'm not being sociable enough because I'm recording. Whoops. I am normally better than this. So, the Dora is 6 bamboo this time. If you've never reached, you do get the under tile to any open Dora. So if Kongs produce any more and you've declared reach, you get the rest of them, which is why it's always a bit dodgy. White dragon. So, looking at this one, does not inspire a lot of... This doesn't look like it's going to develop into anything major. We'll see what happens, though. Won't call that. It just does not help. Nope. What that did do, unfortunately, was move me down to third place. So I'm going to have to win some points back. Hey, set of 9s. Which is always a nice thing to get when you've given up calling one a couple of turns ago. That said, it doesn't really help me out with a Yaku or anything, so we'll just have to see what comes up. Come on. 2, 4, 6, not a bad thing, because if we get a middle tile, we can discard the other one. No, we can't get a step in through, actually, forget that. So, at best, reach... No Dora. Can't take it to all simples because we got a triplet of 9s. If we're fortunate enough to draw 4 dots and 3 bamboos, Sananko maybe. Or there's something else I could do. I now have a sequence and 3 pairs, so I might be able to go Toy Toy. Or triplets. And of course it gives me more opportunities to draw. If I draw another pair... no. I would normally discard the 3 here, but... there was always going to be a risk with that one. I'm just... At the moment, keeping the pairs might be what I have to do to win, and... well, actually, no, I wouldn't, because it is called to the turn sequence out. But I got the set of 3 anyway. At least now we know about it. Nope. Toss 6. A lot of bamboo discards, so people are waiting on them. Seemingly. Nope. Come on, play something useful. Mind you, I'm not sure I'd call it anyway, but... well, that kind of wrecks this as a sequence. There is a 2 left, though. Right, we're tossing the 4. We're going to assume he's in a ready state. So therefore, we're going to start discarding defensively against him. It looks like he's after dots. Red Dragon's safe against him, and there's 2 of them out, so nobody should be calling that. What we're looking at potentially is 7 pairs. Is our easiest way to get to a ready state at the moment. Or at least a ready state that's actually worth any points. No, why did I toss that? Oh no, he's discarded one, that's why I thought about that earlier. Ugh. Of course, 9 I've already discarded once before, so that's useless to me as a weight. Though potentially not useless to me to get into tempo. Somebody wants that. Oh, that was terrible. Again, he's gone with a really cheap hand, though. Really cheap. He's dealer now, but... we're down to the south round. Alright, I need to get back into this game somehow. Otherwise, this is going to be embarrassing. So we can potentially have a pair of wests, but that's not going to help the value of our hand too much. I'm going to also remember that the leaders... Oh, you going to play north? No. If all the same wind tile are played in the first round, then the entire hand is redone. Of course, this doesn't matter for other things. It's not looking good, I'll be honest. And that's helpful. It means we can now call anything and not worry. We at least have a legal out, but we haven't really been able to... There was that dodgy hand a bit earlier, but... Right, what do we have? What we have now is a sequence and 3 pairs. Toy Toy West. We're calling that. We need to start being a bit more aggressive. Nope. Let's toss that. That's a Dora as well, so we don't really want to get rid of that if we can. The other thing is, if I get favourable draws, I can get rid of both of these pairs and potentially... Let's gamble. They're saying he's mad, and they're right. I am mad. But at least I've been able to... no. We'll call the second one if it comes up. Ciao. Right, now we got a few problems developing. If I try and stretch this to Hon or Chinitsu, we win on a 9 or a 6 without any problem. We can take a west from that. So west 1 Dora. It's just whether we can make it any more valuable. I'd have to draw 2 character tiles here. Or we'll just take from him. West 1 Dora, we'll take that. Not a very high value hand, but more valuable than the hand which I gave him earlier. So I'll take that as revenge. Also puts us into second. 6,000 points down, and we are double south. It's south wind round and south seat. Again, though, don't appear to have a lot. Green dragon. So we have 4 pairs. He has a set of dragons, though. We'll see what we can do with this. If I can draw and get a 5th pair... That was always unlikely. We'll drop the 7. I was about to say, you call that as well. I'm playing defensive. Hey, there we go. So that's 5 pairs. If we complete another pair, which is why we're not calling that yet, we've got an early 5 pairs. We draw a 6th pair. We have a 7 pair weight. And if we'd have discarded the 4 instead of a 9, we'd already be there. Oh well. And we see 2 dragons. And we're giving up a north. It's not a bonus set for us anyway, so that's not so much of a sacrifice, that one. 9 dots. Let's at least kind of show that we're sort of going to a Honitsu. We have more tiles on the bamboo side, so we're more likely to draw a 7 or a 9 than we are the 4. So if we can get it to waiting on a 4, we'll be perfect. That said, we now realistically have to start thinking of triplets. Nope. Well, so much for completing this set. There's no more 8s to complete that, so a 9 discard next time isn't quite so unreasonable in a Honitsu. Ugh. Dang, I knew that would happen. Alright, fine. So we now have a set of 6s. And everybody's called things. It's not me. Darn, and the leader gets further away. Although, another cheap hand. This is almost my style of game, this. At least aim for some bigger things. Right, so on dealer now, we have... Right. There's only one hand you can possibly go for with this. I mentioned Yakuman in the video before this. That's exactly what we're going for. Daisangan. No hesitation, we call that. The other advantage is, if we fail to get the Daisangan, this has a good chance of stretching to Chanter. One green dragon down. We need to draw another 2. Going to toss to 4. Not going to be easy to complete from here. Could do some favours from Beji. Starting with 2 or the free character would be... No. Right. We're considering backup plans here. If we draw just one more green dragon, that gives us the Little Dragons special, which is worth 4 minimum points. If we have the green dragon as the pair and then 2 sequences. 2 sets of dragons. But for now, I don't think Chance is available, and that's horrible. Horrible. And why did I should discard the 8 and let the... Oh well, we'll see. We shall see. We'll call pretty much anything they play, so... 9 dots. Kind of the problem is, we needed to develop this reasonably quickly. Or get lucky and draw another green dragon. If we draw one more of those, then we're in a really strong position. Right, that's a help. But unfortunately, not a greater help as it might have been, because we've unfortunately discarded a 4 earlier. So if we end up having to wait on that, we're in for a 10. But Beji seems quite content to throw bamboo tiles our way, so we might get lucky. Also means we can get rid of this 1-2 wait at the moment, because that's the one that was going to be dodgy. In fact, we're going to toss it now. It's bad, but we'll see what happens. I've just seen dragon sets and I'm playing abysmally now. Come on, give me a 4 or a 7. I can't win. Yeah, there we go. This is important because while I can't win on the 147, I can at least call things. So now a 2 or 5 will put us into a 1 wait, which will be for the green dragon unless I see 2 more of those in quick succession. If I draw a green dragon, perfect. Because that'll give me the little dragons. Kong. That's probably a bad move. In fact, almost certainly a bad move, but we'll see what we can come up with this. There's still one more green dragon left. But nobody's going to play it against this now. Seeing two dragons, they will fear Daisangan. Well, not Daisangan anymore, there's two missing, but they'll just assume I've got a reasonable hand. When I really don't. I should... No, why did I not keep that? No. This has gone abysmally, I'll be honest. Abysmally. Well, East and Green are both safe, so they're going. East is safe. West is more of a risk. Oh, Right, defense is out the window. It's impossible to defend with 4 tiles. That's about our best bet. Well, had to happen. At the very least, it was the leader who won it, so I was dealer, so then it was a reasonably sized hand this time round. Oh, that's what happens when you get too aggressive, and also when you make bad playing decisions. Mind you, it's not a bad hand to restart things. So, being 28,000 points down... No, 27,000 points down. Pretty much we're now looking at the Byman hands to get us out of this. Yeah, and that pretty much sums up the state of the game, really. Mind you, it's only worth 1 bonus point to him these days. And this is he's the last player as dealer. So it's my last chance to get some points back. Mind you. Currently we have 1 Dora. Might be able to get Pinfu. In fact, no. I've got all 4 of these to get rid of. I can even start thinking of hands, really. Red Dragon's probably safe, so we'll go that next. 5 characters probably safe to discard at the moment, but only based on his early things, suggesting he doesn't have any. Mind you, we might be going after something weird with these discards. I'm not going to declare anything on that. No point. And that sums up my game. I know there's one already discarded, but that pretty much sums it up. In fact, it sums it up so much. Meh. We'll see. North. It's ours, it should be alright. I've been on a bit of a winning run recently, hence why I've now got 2 brown stripes on my little avatar. But apparently that's come to an end here. This is probably the video that works now. So looking at this, if I can get the 5, I'm still 2 away really. There's another one. So no Southwind bonuses for anybody. Mind you, he needs the cheapest hand he can get. The game ends when he doesn't win. Unfortunately, if he keeps winning, we can't catch him. Not that we can catch him anyway, really. His Kong actually helps us out because a reach means we get these 2 as bonus tiles, so... I'm thinking of something, which is why I'm playing slightly oddly at the moment. So we have sequence, pair. What I'm considering is that there is a really obscure bonus hand available for doing something quite ridiculous. But we can't go for it, really. We'll toss that. He's probably not after them. Yeah. So I've discarded 2 pairs of dragons. Ugh. What can we actually do about this? Well, we can do that for a start, because that means we're now in a closed wait for free. We're now waiting. Do I feel like gambling? Yes. Closed wait for the second Dora. Let's go for it. What's the worst that could happen? He wins. No, he didn't, actually. Or somebody decided not to call it. So, 3 dots. No, that's the wrong dot, but carry on. Not expecting much of this. But pretty much I have to try and secure second, and this is the best way to do it. Dang it, didn't happen. So, we end the game in 3rd place with a negative 69,000 score, lowering our ranking back below 6,000. Dang. Okay, well, this was a Let's Play of Mahjong, and I didn't win. Dang. Pin 2, all symbols, reach, and a lot of Dora, which basically doesn't make a difference. He was already ahead of me on points, and unless it was a ridiculous hand, he wasn't getting past him. Wish I could see what people had, because then I'd know how likely it was. 1 free was missing there. No, a free was missing there. So I had 2 Dora. Well, I played quite badly in this, if I'm honest. But anyway, this is Shadowhawk 2012, and this was a Let's Play of Mahjong. Until next time.